Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So I had a few leftover pieces of 2x4 wood, as you can see there, and I decided to make a really simple, quick and easy bike rack, which will just keep the bike upright when you're working on it. So the first thing to do was to lay out these pieces to get a rough idea of the dimensions that I needed. So it's going to consist of two bottom pieces, which will act as feet, and then the two top pieces will act as like a pincer to hold the wheel straight, keep it all in line. So in the end I went for 14 inches for the bottom pieces and 20 inches for the top two pieces, and that will depend on the size of your wheel. I have a 26-inch wheel, so if you have a 27.5 or a 29-inch wheel, you might want to increase the length slightly, and depending on how thick your tyre is, you might want to increase the width as well, or decrease it. My tyre is 2.0 inches, so it's kind of roughly in the middle somewhere. So the next thing to do was to mark out those measurements. Really quick and easy job. Only consists of 4 pieces of wood. Great if you do basic maintenance on your bike sometimes and you don't have anywhere to put it. It's much better than leaning it up against a wall, because every now and again, if you've done this, you'll find that the handlebars move and the whole bike falls over, and this just locks it together, keeps it nice and rigid. And you only need basic tools for this job. So now I've cut the pieces, and now I'm just giving them another fit, sort of a dry fit, just checking. I want to get those two bottom feet really central. So there's probably a really easy way you can do this on a calculator, just to work it out mathematically, but I just did it by eye and then just kept checking with the tape measure just to make sure it's perfectly aligned so that I could make some markings. And now that I have those markings on that piece, I'm just going to transfer them to the other piece with the speed square. And I'm also drawing out a couple of marks for the pilot holes for the screws to go in. So for this I'm going to use some nice chunky wood screws, and I'm going to also glue it as well for extra strength. And I just wanted to make sure it was all nicely lined up and straight before I just finished with those screws, because the glue was helping it to slide about, so it was a bit awkward. Okay, so now I decided to add another 4 screws, longer screws, just for a sort of overkill, but just to make sure that the structure never moves, never comes apart, because it's going to have some pressure on it from the weight of the bike. So this probably isn't necessary once the glue's dried, but I thought I had some longer screws and I thought I'd just add them. So first of all, I just cleaned up all the glue squeeze out. And I added those really long screws. So at this point I just checked it and it fits perfectly, the bike, and as you can see it's nice and upright and straight. There's no leaning from one side to the other. So the next thing to do is to give it a bit of a paint. And I used 2 coats of, I think it's just an interior emulsion. It doesn't really matter what kind of paint it is. It was just to make it look a bit nicer, that's all. Of course you could use a spray can to do this, it'd be much faster if you want, but this is just what I had lying around. So there it is, all done, and I'll just show you now. I'll just show you it working. Really quick and easy project, takes no time at all. Now I'm just checking it with my bike for the first time, a nice tight snug fit, nice and upright. So thank you for watching. If you found this video useful, please drop me a like, and also consider subscribing, and if you've got any questions please let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.